Welcome to Monday Jazz and Conversation, presented by a collaboration of 4 nonprofit organizations: Gold Coast Jazz Society, South Florida Jazz, Sunshine Jazz Organization, and the Miami Jazz Cooperative, all of whom are dedicated to bringing jazz to South Florida audiences. Each Monday, Wendy Peterson and Nikki Orta feature the music and talk to the country's most talented and interesting jazz musicians.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome John Fedchuk to the hang.
Hi, everybody. Great to be here.
The amazing and beautiful and the world's best person, Brenda Alford.
Hi, Brenda.
Live up to that.
Okay, I got some living to do.
Please welcome to Jazz and Conversation the amazing Joe Donato. Joey D!
Hello.
How are you? I'm so
Good evening,
sad
ladies and
that
gentlemen.
we
This
gave
is
you
Ralph
stress.
Edwards, and tonight it's Joe Donato. This is your life.
And now, the hosts of Monday Jazz and Conversation, Wendy Peterson and Nikki Orta.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hi.
Happy Monday. Monday after Valentine's Day, if that means anything.
Yes.
Hopefully you had a fantastic cheers to Valentine's Day. Some people just spend it with their dog, but that's okay too, I did spend it with my dog because he was under the weather, and just to be on the safe side, decided to get tested for COVID test, but he was negative, so hence we're in the same room, so everything is good. Anyway,
or at least that's what I told her.
Yeah, we're so happy that you're joining us. We're gonna talk with one of my all-time favorite people on the planet.
Hey, can before we talk about that, just since some people were making comments, we wanted to mention that video that you just saw was a composition by David Fernandez, who is a great saxophonist, and it was with his group, which is Tom Lippincott on guitar, Rodolfo Zuniga on drums, and Eric England on that nice bass solo, Khalifa. So there you go.
Yeah, so he sent that to us, and we thought it would be appropriate in our continuing celebration of Black History Month, and we thought it was great. Tonight's guest is somebody that I've known for a really long time. Maybe was kind of like my first collaborator / producer / guide and helper and arranger, and just really has helped me in so many innumerable ways. I can't even express it. He's been so instrumental in me becoming the person and the musician that I am. So I'm really excited to talk with him, because as every week I realize I don't know everything about Mike Levine. I think, maybe I feel like I know him pretty well, but I don't know about like where he, went to school and things like that. So we're here celebrating his brand new record, Just Chillin'. Mike Levine, he's been doing a lot of chillin' during this.
Looks like he's chilling on that album cover.
During the COVID, I think that, yeah. So we're going to hear a lot of that music, and we're going to learn a lot about him. And, we'll just get right to the music. And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mike Levine, the Dream Levine.
Hey, everybody. That was Let's Do This from my upcoming CD. And I want to let you know who you heard. You heard Lee Levin, who has played on all my stuff and is I guess if I had another right arm, it would be him on drums, Dan Warner on guitar, Guillermo Vidala on bass, Richard Bravo on percussion, and Jackson King doing a little vocal on the bridge of that tune. Going to continue with another one, and this one's entitled "Gliding." I picked this tune actually with help of audience participation. Gliding was picked as going to be my single that's going to be released. Well, it's in the works and it'll be out on February 22nd. Anyhow, let's listen to Gliding. Okay. And the crowd goes wild. Anyhow, I'd like to let you know who played on that one. That was on guitar, special guest, Steve Oliver, doing some beautiful guitar work. Richard Bravo, percussion. Julio Hernandez on the bass. Once again, of course, Lee Levin. And that's funny when you see the little captions. You say, "Okay." Anywho, I'm going to go play one more from the CD. This is the title cut. This one is just chillin', and I should have had my wine. Yes, just chillin'. That was I'd like to let you know who played on that. Once again, Lee Levin, Will Lee on bass on that one, Andy Snitzer on the saxophone, percussion Jimmy Medina, and of course yours truly. So I am going to get back to playing some music a little bit later. I think Wendy wants to find out all these things about me.
Woo, woo, woo!
Thank
we're gonna,
you, guys.
We're gonna dig up some dirt. That's what we're gonna do.
Oy vey, get the shovel ready.
So is the album officially out already?
Sorry, Wendy, say that one more time.
Is the album officially out already?
Yeah, I've got 1,000 copies in the corner over there.
Just like we all do. I always
Yep.
just every once in a while I have to clean under my bed, like for the dust bunnies, and I realize, wow, I have like 3 different albums under my bed,
Right. Well, I'm presuming, are these also going to be available digitally? Yes?
Oh my!
What?
I'm having an intruder.
Uh-oh. Hey,
An intruder. Yes, of course. It'll be through the usual through CD Baby, or they have a new thing called Here Now.
okay.
And on the different iTunes and
And clearly they can go to
so
your
forth.
website, because I did see that
Yes.
there's a store there they can purchase.
On my website, it would be to buy the whole CD, and I mail it out to you. But
Right.
there'll be plenty of digital opportunities they'll be putting in place shortly.
Good.
Excellent, excellent. And for any of those that aren't aware, they can also buy your other 3 CDs,
Oh, my.
which are all spectacular
Yes.
productions and playing guest artists, and you're nothing if not consistent
In
Well,
the good way.
in the best way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I
mean,
appreciate
it's just
that, guys. And
all,
man,
it's,
Nick,
you
that's
know,
quite
there's never a weak song or a weak record.
I try to dot all the T's and punctuate all the
And
I's.
cross all the I's.
Oh, that's right. I got it reversed, didn't I? Okay.
That explains a lot, Mike.
Yes.
Anyhow, so how have you been during this whole crazy pandemic?
Well, obviously, I mean, not obviously, but no live playing, I've given me the opportunity to actually mix most of this CD myself, and then work on Dan Bonsanti's projects, and
That's right.
play and
Who's
mix.
in the audience, by the way?
That's right. He's watching.
Hi, Dan.
You
And,
got your fans are here in mass. We've got
Yeah.
Hospers
Oh, yeah.
here, and
All
the Lindsays
five-
and Rucker. And,
I've got all 5 of them watching.
No, we're doing good.
Quite the crowd tonight.
Oh, okay. All right. Hey. But and I played on a few other things, recording. I've got a pretty good piano setup now.
Yeah.
I've psyched it out, and that's it. And doing this is the second or third thing I've done like on the internet. It's as I was watching the countdown, I was thinking to myself, man, this might be worse than waiting for the dentist to come in. I don't know.
Just to make, and the thing is, it's a lot of balls in the air. So it's like, you get one thing going, and you immediately have to think of what button do I have to push next, and what do I have to bring in, and so you've got the same thing going on your end with the tracks and the microphone
And I want to play with good time and good touch and
Well.
everything else, and good notes.
Right.
But,
and you have one crack at it, right? As opposed
Yeah,
to the
that's it.
recording process. Right. We've had this conversation. There are musicians that are, just very, very picky when they have the ability to be picky. When you're
Yes.
playing live, you do your best and what
Yeah,
comes
yeah,
out.
yeah.
And in your case, you always sound good to me anyhow,
Well.
but I know how it is when you're your worst critic.
Oh, absolutely. And,
Well,
and I'll send you a small check later, Nick, for that
Yeah.
compliment.
That's why.
well, and we've had this conversation before, Mike.
Yes, we have.
Just about you're consistently good. For yourself what feels good and what doesn't feel good, but what you consider to be your worst is still pretty freaking amazing. You know what I mean? On the scheme of things. So it all works out.
It does.
Yeah.
Mike, did you compose these things during the pandemic, or were these things that you kind of had?
Some I wrote. Well, actually, gliding. We actually played that once at Le Chat Noir, like late when nobody was there. Kind of, where the crowd was pretty thin. It was like a sight reading thing. It, of course, transformed into something totally different. But the other two tunes I wrote specifically for the project. And I always like to, write something funky, and then I like to write something with some type of a triplet bounce to it, like Just Chillin' has that,
Like the shuffly.
Yeah.
So I have my own.
Mike Levine formula.
Yes, thank you, Wendy. That's exactly what I was going to say. It's not like I'm following a formula, but I always like to have a vocal on the CD. I always like to have something Latin,
Right.
and and some romantic stuff, and that's who
That's who you
what
are.
I am.
Right.
Well, my favorite thing to do in the whole world is see pictures of people that I know and love as youth. So can we put the picture of Mike as a baby, because we have it, and this is the first time that I'm seeing it. So look at that sweet Mike Levine.
I grew into my ears, by the way. I think.
Well, now you keep him covered pretty good too with the with the hair, but
You certainly seem happy.
yeah.
Hey,
Oh my goodness.
You grew up in Miami, yeah?
Yeah, from what I hear, because obviously I don't remember, after I was born at Doctor's Hospital, and then
Oh wow.
as a small baby, I lived across the street from my grandparents, and then shortly after that, moved to Coral Gables, and lived there, my whole youth until I was 18. And it's funny how I couldn't wait to leave the house.
Isn't that the way?
And I went. I went my first year. Well, I'm back. Let me back up here for once. Should I go into this whole spiel here? Or?
Do it.
I don't, but I would like. How old would you be here?
Oh my goodness! How old was I here, and what was I doing?
How old would you be here? I mean here.
Hair, yeah.
That had to be in my 20s. Oh my goodness.
That's
But man, when you can really see Sam in that pic, for real.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I went to, I actually was in the band in both Ponce Junior High and
Wow.
Coral Gables High School playing trumpet. And I got to be first trumpet at Gables. Yeah, Steve has identified the photo, okay. I got to be first trumpet. I probably shouldn't have been. I probably should have been second, but the band director, because I was a senior, he gave it to me.
Oh.
And then, during that time is when I started gravitating towards the piano. Don't even ask me how that happened. There was a piano.
see. Now I had no idea. Did you know he played trumpet?
I did. You know what? I think I did, but I forgot. But I did know that you started rather late to the piano, which always
I did.
floors me.
Thus, well, we won't go into the thus
No.
part now. But I started there was a piano in the band room. I was gravitated towards it, just messing around. And then I ended up, oddly enough, taking lessons with Vince Maggio.
Wow.
At that time, he was Vince Lawrence.
Yeah.
And I remember my parents, you go to the UM and you'd sign up for your 11 or 12 week package, and so Vince was my first teacher, and,
Wow.
everything,
Yeah.
So, and then, let's see.
And you know what? You know what's funny, Mike? He loves you so much. Every time I talk to him, he always has nothing but, he talks about your pocket and your groove and your feel, and he just couldn't think higher than he does of you.
I appreciate that. And,
Of course, as we say, this is the older mellow Vince. I'm sure he wasn't, as
the lessons
fun
were not.
back then.
I wasn't always smiling when I left the
Exactly.
the lesson. Now, there may have been a moment of tears.
Mm-hmm.
If there was, I think I blocked it out of my
Right.
Yeah.
my
yeah.
mind. But yes. So after high school, I got accepted to Vanderbilt University in Nashville. I got accepted
Okay.
to Emory and Vanderbilt, and remember taking a trip with my dad and looking at the schools. We said, okay, I'm going to go to Vanderbilt. Well, I really didn't have a clue, what I was doing there. And I mentioned this to you previously, is like I thought I was fairly smart. I got there and realized, well, I'm not quite as smart as I thought I was. And these guys, they all knew I'm going to be an engineer, I'm going to be a doctor, I'm going to be a lawyer.
Right.
And I was waffling a little bit, let's say.
As you do when you're 18, it's.
Yeah.
Some people do know who they are, but
They
man,
do, they do.
some people do not.
Well, it took me a year, then I ended up at the University of Miami Music School.
And that's amazing that your parents allow, just said, okay, Mike, you're going to go to music school,
Yeah, I don't know how happy they were. My dad used to say, Michael, his favorite word was, Michael, you picked a tough one.
Yeah.
But they came out and supported
Yeah.
me.
Oh my
you
God.
guys saw
Nobody was
them.
more supportive than Pearl.
Sure.
Forget
they,
about
They
it.
both came out, and hey, my best fans.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, did you gravitate to the jazz thing early on? When you were playing trumpet, I imagine that was just high school stuff. Or...
That's funny. I actually was into jazz. One summer I went to the FSU summer band camp, and they had a jazz band, and I played, and I had to play a trumpet solo in Inagata de Vida, whatever.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I remember that now. It's crazy. And then at Vanderbilt, I was into music. I mean, even though I was studying calculus and botany and ecology.
Well, we know how that helped your career, clearly.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But I had a radio show because I didn't really have a social life. I'm a shy guy. And I had a radio show. I was a DJ, and I used to play all kinds of jazz. It was a jazz show. I used to play I remember Bitches Brew, Mahavishnu Orchestra. Hava Mishna Orchestra was about to come out. And but then that year ended, and then the UM days were behind that. I lived at home and went to school.
Yeah. That's amazing. And so I know you one of your first. Well, we have some pictures of some of your first bands and things like that, which we and
I'm
it
sure
says,
you do.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Oh my goodness.
talk to us about this.
Okay. Well, on the right, I guess it's coming up on the right, is Peter Harris,
Okay.
great guitarist. He played in the band that Billy Ross and I had together called the Ross and Levine Band.
Yeah.
Peter was the guitarist on the first vinyl. In the middle was Billy Peoples.
Oh wow.
Great jazz drummer, Ray Charles, and of course the guy on the left also with all that hair was,
Woo, baby.
was
Amazing.
me. I don't even know
Woo-wee.
where that was, but I played with Billy Peoples some, and of course with Peter quite often.
Right. And then we've.
Oh yeah, this
I-
is before that probably, or
Okay.
maybe around the same. This was a band called Kepler.
Okay.
Randall,
Wow.
Dallahan, Billy Bowker on drums, Eugene Goss in the middle, singer, Eric Traub, of course, the Italian stallion Matt Bonelli, and Mr. Hair with those wild jeans, me.
Yeah.
That's not hair, that's a helmet.
That was a fun group because we used to do cover. It was mainly a cover band, but taking Stevie Wonder tunes and like playing them for like 15, 20 minutes.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, like, anyhow, many memories there.
Yeah. Oh, and here
Oh.
is, and this is the first time. Like before, I really even knew you. I have to say, I saw you guys playing at Coconuts in the Grove.
Okay.
I think. And I think I was still in high school at this point. And, you know, like I was just getting into jazz, and so I was starting to venture out. And I used to go see Michelle Amato, play with Larry Lappin, and, you know, and then, you know, and I can remember definitely seeing you guys. And, you know, you probably had no idea I was there. You know, I was just a kid, but man, I loved it so much.
Yeah, Billy and I, we formed a group. We recorded two vinyls. The first vinyl, we were, since we went to school with Pat, he was gracious enough to play on the title cut. And look at that! It's like magic.
It's like
Just
magic.
it's like butter.
That's why you get paid the big bucks, Mike.
I'm telling you. Yes, and as you can see, there's the group. Billy,
Yeah,
myself,
Billy.
Peter, Jeff Carswell, Steve Rucker, Cookie Lopez on percussion,
And special
Pat
guest.
Metheny on the one cut.
And that was the title cut that he plays on, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That Summer Something. Well, you know what? How about we let the audience hear that? This is, I'm looking at it, it's
Man.
1981. Oh, Lord.
My gosh.
Where does the time go?
Don't even start.
Let's listen to that
All
Summer
right.
Something from your first vinyl recording. Mike?
I had that record, by the way, and so I was very familiar with that song.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I
know-
had it in my dorm room. I remember it at U of M. I had it.
That was maybe one of the first tunes I'd ever written, and it's one of those lucky ones where it was written in a half hour. I didn't
It's
have
a great
to go,
song.
go back and maybe I can, it was not one of those.
Yeah. I love that you resurrected that in recent times.
Yes.
And I'm thinking we should just re-record it. Call Pat again.
Well,
Yeah, good luck with that one.
as we were listening to it, though, the funny thing about it is that it still sounded like Pat. I mean, you could tell,
Yes.
maybe not as refined or whatever, like you were
Right.
saying, but still sounded like
Yeah.
all of you guys,
Yeah,
the-
we were a little hopped up in that recording. I mean, I think there was a little, what's the word, anticipation or,
Of course.
Yeah.
a little extra energy there.
Yeah.
We have a few more Ross and Levine picks.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Steve. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think I've
cow.
seen Steve that dressed up ever, really.
There you go.
Yeah. And there's a Benelli. I remember when you guys were sort of a big deal, I was just kind of getting started, but I wasn't, even though I grew up on the jazz genre, I never really got to see that group play, as far as I can recall. But the name was there. They were
Yeah.
like the thing,
Yeah.
For a minute there, we were actually kind of making a living playing original music. It was kind of crazy,
Wow.
and more than one night in a club. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Right,
Those days.
Yeah.
Imagine. Is this
know,
another
but-
incarnation of the group? I'm guessing?
Now, I was going to mention this. Actually, this go back a minute. This is a group called Cafe.
Oh, sure.
Of course, Oscar Salas,
Oh,
Billy,
wow.
and I, and
Golo.
Godofredo.
Yeah, sure.
Wow.
That was actually my first steady gig. I mean, we 5 nights a week, a Holiday Inn,
So did this precede the Ross and Levine Band, or was it sort of
I
another
think
sort of
s-
version?
Oh my goodness, I think it did. Oh man, I get all tangled up in the years.
It is difficult to remember, huh?
All I know is from here, from that time period, I ended up working with Joe Donato, for Joe Donato at Les Jardins.
Yeah.
That was my next kind of steady, kind of crazy gig,
Wow.
crazy times.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't show pictures of the family. I love
Oh yeah. So let's take a look at some really beautiful personal photos that you sent us here, and
Except Nikki's having some issues.
Oh yeah,
behave yourself.
Beautiful.
yeah. That's my mom, of course, and
Yeah.
That's Sammy,
Wow.
and
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 I
that's
know
Hair
Rick
Levine
Katz
over
left
there
this
on the right.
comment a little bit earlier here.
Yeah, the Pearl Katz Levine packed the house every time Mike played for
Oh,
the
yeah.
MJC.
yeah,
Yeah.
she was my biggest fan
Yeah.
and my best salesperson.
Mm-hmm.
And you
She
guys
was-
heard the story.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my mom could sell dead rats.
That is
Yeah, yeah.
amazing. And let's do a couple
And
more.
then
here.
yeah, here we go.
Oh
This
yeah,
is-
okay. So that's obviously a little bit later,
Yeah.
and that's Sammy and Ted.
And Teddy, yeah. And we got one more. This is my favorite picture. This has been showing up on Facebook.
Yeah, that's a cute shot.
Yeah, so good.
Oh my goodness.
Very nice. And so you guys did another record, right?
We did. Well, we waited a little too long to do the second one because the company that we were with was willing to do another project with us, but they ended up going out of business.
Oh gosh.
So
Timing is everything.
Timing is
yes,
everything.
yeah, I think we waited like 5 years. It was a little too long, but this album featured Hiram was all over this album.
And you
And
had a really interesting relationship with Hiram. I mean, you really were, for as long as I've known you, you've been friends, and he's collaborated with you.
Yeah, we, obviously I met Hiram at the UM. We actually got a place in Coconut Grove together
Oh,
when I finally when I was finally making some money to be able to actually leave the house on my own.
Yeah.
And it was 4 guys, and Hiram was one of them, right before he went to New York. And of course, there would be some stories that we're not going to tell
That's
tonight.
why everyone's here, for crying out
Exactly.
loud.
Yeah,
Dish-
everybody probably knows about them.
Oh, well, there's that.
Anyhow, yeah, so we were roommates, and then he played on this Humidity album. He came down. He played on my first solo album that actually Nick was there and played.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
played
we
live with Hiram.
All huddled in your
So
room
I mean,
there.
he was always a force. And the one thing I always thought about Hiram, it's almost like not what he played, but how he played it.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, he could play, just maybe a 3 or 4 note little lick, but oh man, I mean, it's just like
Yeah, he had soul for sure.
that's right on the money, just the way
And another
so-
one who had a really distinct style.
Yes.
Very,
yes.
very distinct. You could hear his guitar and you would know it's Hiram.
That's right. That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. What?
I think we should listen to it.
You want to listen? Okay, let's listen to a little bit.
I don't see why we shouldn't.
Hey, you guys are running a ship.
This is a song called Nearly a Calypso
Yeah.
on the Humidity album featuring Hiram.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like
Man,
Steve's
memory
comment
lane.
Yeah, Steve said Jocko had used to be a cha-cha, so we named this one nearly
Yeah,
a calypso.
Jocko's wasn't a cha-cha, and this is not really a calypso either.
No.
Just saying,
Very true.
and not even nearly.
And Al Hospers wanted to say humidity. It's not on Apple or Apple Music or Spotify or anything, but this was
Yeah, what happened with that, since we didn't have a deal, we put it on Pop's Records. So Pop's Records was my dad and Billy's dad
Oh, wow.
coughing up a few bucks so we could make the vinyl.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, now
And,
you got to upload it so people can get it.
I think, yeah. I mean, just to hear it, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it's all great. That doesn't sound dated or anything or
No.
at all.
Not much.
Oh,
But it's the stuff that we like to hear.
that's true.
Yeah,
That's
So
true.
we're dated.
True.
I picked that one. That tune was a little bit more adventurous.
Yeah, so good. Well, you know what? Okay, before we do that, I want to make sure, we're putting this banner about the tip jar, but I want to make sure that everybody, that I explain it because, tonight for Mike Levine, this is a gig. This is his Monday night gig, and we haven't had many of those gigs, unfortunately, lately. And so we're hoping that if you love Mike and you are able to, we have a tip jar set up so that all the money, from the tip jar will go directly to Mike Levine tonight at the end of the show. He will get it. So and the first $100 will be matched. So that's, he gets an extra bump, which is super nice. And all you
We've got this. We've got
all you have
Man,
to do is text the
more
word
money.
More money.
More
Text the
money.
word tip jar, TIPJAR, to the number 44321. That's like where you would send it. Like, I'm texting 44321, and this is the message I'm texting them, tip jar. And you'll immediately get like a little text back with a very secure, safe link. And you can use a credit card, you can use PayPal, you can use anything. I don't know food stamps, but that's not even a thing anymore. But green stamps is what I was thinking. And we would really appreciate, and Michael, I'm sure, would really appreciate it, and we would appreciate that we're showing the love and goodwill to our musicians who have been out of work for all of this time. And that's it for that. So please, 44321, text the word tip jar. We'd really appreciate it. But we're wondering, I know that you came to it late, but who are your kind of influences, pianistically speaking,
Well-
or even compositionally?
Well, in terms of the playing part, it would be obviously Wynton Kelly is probably my major influence. I've always been gravitated to the way it felt rather than maybe sometimes. I mean, the notes were great too, but where they put the notes,
Right.
Wynton Kelly, and Red Garland, of course. I shied away from Oscar Peterson. I mean, only because he's just so, those chops and everything, it was just, like a little mind-boggling for me. I'm, keeping in mind I was a late starter, and that's not to say that Wynton Kelly or Red Garland didn't have chops, but they didn't have those kind of chops.
Right. It was
Of
different.
course, Bill Evans, Herbie, a little bit of Chick. I remember Les McCann. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess those were the guys I listened. I listened to horn players too.
Right.
Hank Mobley.
Right,
Hank Mobley,
well, that's-
also not a super choppy guy. Sometimes a little laid back, a little bit maybe too far behind the beat, perhaps, but great note choice. Who else? Lee Morgan.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. That makes sense to me.
So it sounds like you came upon the jazz thing through the more straight ahead thing,
Oh,
and then got into
absolutely.
the fusion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. I just had a thought. Mike is going to be playing a bunch more, but I thought there's a few more pictures that we're going to look at and I want to talk to you about. But I'm wondering if maybe we can hear maybe a piano thing
Yeah. You want to play some solo piano for us?
and then come back and we'll
Okay.
talk some more.
Okay, let's see.
I'd like Rhapsody in Blue.
Oh, yeah, well, I like it too. Yeah, I was going to play something. Let me think.
Whatever you want.
Oh yeah, anything. It's really your show.
Yes.
It's all about me.
Yes.
It's all about you.
Okay, I'm going to kill my microphone now,
Okay.
and let's see here what. I'm going to play something that I recently wrote, and I dedicate this to my mom. And I wrote it after she had passed, and I didn't realize that. It's funny, you know, unconsciously, the chord structure is kind of like on a clear day, but I wasn't really obviously thinking about that. Anyhow, here we go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful, Mike.
Yeah, that really is beautiful.
Wow. Yeah. Let that sink in for
We're
a moment.
we're speechless. That was really nice.
Gorgeous song. And the playing, impeccable.
Oh, thank you guys.
Okay, so other pictures. I know that your whole career was leading to this moment right here,
Sabado Gigante.
which I'm sure that was a great gig.
Man, 17 years between that show and then the Don Francisco Presenta talk show. I did that.
Right.
Now, for the people in the audience, which is probably most of our audience that never heard of it, never watched it, why don't you tell them about this? Because this was a big deal, actually.
Man, no, it was a real job, and it still left you with a lot of time to do everything else you wanted to do.
Right. I mean, Don Francisco is kind of like the Latin Johnny Carson to a degree,
Yes.
right?
Right.
Yeah. Even I think he's in the Guinness Book of Records for the longest talk show.
Is that right?
Between what he did in Chile and then all the years he did here in the States.
Yeah. Wow.
And
Yeah.
they had a whole, I mean, it was like a, 12-piece band or something?
What did we have in the beginning? Yeah, we had two trumpets, two saxes and bone, piano, bass, drums, guitar, synthesizer, and percussion. I mean, it was big in the beginning. You're right.
Yeah.
And then little by little, it sort of
Right.
like everything else
like
in the
everything
music
else,
business,
sure.
right?
And Khalifa, he was on that from the beginning with you, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Flacco, and of course,
Padron, yeah.
Willie Sanchez was the leader.
Yeah.
And,
that was one of those gigs that looked like it was never going to end.
Man, but
Yeah.
I got the pink slip.
And is that how you kind of got into the production for the Latin recording industry and for people like that, or recording?
Not really. I'd already, been doing stuff with Lee Levin. We
Okay.
did like some Raul de Blasio.
Yeah.
And then Lee and I had worked for Rudy Perez doing maybe 5 or 6 different artists. So, but that wasn't necessarily, I mean, it was Latin, but it wasn't, It
Yeah.
was, a
Right.
lot of that music was, as you know, Wendy, and you too, Nick, that it was, it was more, well, let's make it sound like this, which was not necessarily, salsa. It was, a different thing.
Right.
Right.
It was kind of always the autumn leaves. If it had the autumn, like the changes of the autumn leaves, we were good.
But you know what? Working with Raul, he was a bit of an influence because I had, in the sense that he was left-handed, and his left hand was really strong. His left hand was always, everything he played, his left hand was always doing like 16th notes.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It's always, I don't know, that breaking up the chords that way. So
Right.
I have written a couple tunes with that in mind, that that this would be a good tune for a Raul de Blasio, and of course I played it myself.
So he
Yeah.
had the Oscar Peterson thing going.
Yeah, right.
Who knew?
Get to the solo and I take a little left turn.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well-
That's cool.
All right. So we have a few more picks I wanted to get to. I'm sure there's a reason why this is in here.
Uh-oh.
The baseball pick.
Oh, yeah, that was, this is back in the heyday.
Is that right?
IBM
Tomasello
was
in
like,
the back there?
there's Dan Bonsanti and Billy, of course, Kenny Falk.
Is that Randy Tomasello?
That's Randy Tomasello in the
Yeah.
middle.
Yeah.
Yep. Russ Friedland, I think, maybe. Yes,
And so
they were there.
this
yes,
was
yes.
just stuff you guys did?
Yeah, what happened was IBM back in the heyday, they would do these gigs for their employees. It was
Okay.
like, the top employees, and they have a show, and they have, big artists. And so we were the house band, and I think we did it at I believe it was at the Fountain with Peter Graves. Might be right there in the middle. Yes, that is Peter. You can hardly tell that's him, but
Oh, okay.
he was like an assistant
Behind.
conductor, and at least in the beginning, and then, but anyhow, just to go to show you, they liked the band. Then they took the band. They flew the whole band to, where did we go? San Francisco, I think, and then they flew the whole band to Bermuda to do these these promo show. I mean, kind of like what?
Right.
But hey, it was actually a union gig.
Nice.
There you go, San Diego. Okay, there you go.
Nice.
Oh, that's
And then,
so
of course,
funny.
I know this was a fun, cool gig.
Oh yes,
This was the Jaco Pastorius big band tribute band.
yes,
Yeah.
yep. That must have been. I think that must have been the first. I think
I've
that.
seen
Yeah, that
Gerald
was the first
Beasley back
recording.
there.
Oh, I'll never forget that day.
Oh,
It
pray
was
tell.
it was a miracle that it came out so good because I think we really had stretched that particular studio to its limit in terms of headphones, and it was a little tough to to really get a good sound, but we muscled through it.
And how many gigs did you do with that band? Were you on that whole tour? Because I know they went to Japan as well. And all.
Yeah, the chicken over here didn't go to.
Oh, that's
Japan,
right. You don't.
but,
You like I don't like flying.
Yeah,
Yeah, I understand you. You don't have to say anything to me. And any of you out in the audience that are criticizing it, Mike's right.
we did. Though I gig in. I think we did was it a week in at the Iridium in New York, and then we did the Detroit and the Montreal Jazz Festivals, the Berks Jazz Festival.
And I know Carswell was the main guy on bass, but they would have guest bassists
That's right.
come in, right, and play.
That's right. And oh my goodness, Mark Griffith on drums.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
That sounds like a fun gig.
Yeah.
It was.
Yep. And let me ask you this, Mike. I mean, you've done a lot. What would you still like to accomplish that you feel you haven't? I'm sorry for the loaded question.
No, but the first thing that, to play the piano better, but that's another story.
Right, but no matter how you played, that would have been the same. Right?
Yes.
You probably asked,
What would
Keith
I
or
like-
Chick or any of those, they would say the same thing.
You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to it'd be nice to play a live gig at some point. That would
Yeah.
be fun. I'd like to learn to be, or to get a more opportunity to do some more mixing. Even though it's very tedious and sometimes can be a real pain in the butt, I like to do that.
Oh, you're good at it.
Hone whatever those skills are a little bit finer.
Sure. Now, for our part, I know my first time was a couple of years ago. You do have a place up in Maine,
Yes.
so you kind of go away for a little while, right?
Yes.
Every year, or at least, I don't know. You did this year as well, actually. I mean, last year.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I mean, there was, unfortunately, as you guys know, everything got canceled. We had
Right,
some
we
stuff
had
lined
gigs
up.
lined up. Well, yeah, where I was going at with that is that you would play there, at all the establishments in the area, and at some point you started bringing, some of the
That's
Miami
right.
people up there, and I know you had Leonard Rutledge go up there, and
Yep.
Wendy went a couple times, and I was fortunate enough to join a couple of years
man.
ago, and I thought it was a blast. And first of all, Maine is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And the venues were so cool, and so we played with this quartet. So Steve
That's it.
Salo
Yeah.
and Mike and Wendy and I and
I
we
will have to give a quick shout out to, I did some gigs in New Hampshire with Al Hospers put
sure
together.
who is here tonight as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he's
then-
on your recording, is he not? He's on one song.
Say what, Nick?
Al's on one of the cuts of your latest CD.
Yes, he is. Yep. Yeah, he was gracious to play
Yeah,
on
you sounded
that. That
you
was
sounded
very nice
great
of
on
him.
it.
And previous to both you and Al, used to play with Rick Mosley and,
Yeah,
Yes,
he's watching
who's
tonight,
also
too.
here. Yeah, right.
and
So
Steve
you had
Salo. We had a trio, and we could find a little bit of work here and there. And
right, and so so you end up have these lovely gigs, that are just so much fun to do. Here's of course, and then aside from the gigging, you get little perks like Maine lobster dinners.
oh my goodness, look at that!
This
That's
was
right.
this was happened a couple
Our
years
friends
ago.
Rosemary and Ray.
Yeah.
and this may be the biggest lobster. Well, not that I know anything about it, but lobster claw I've ever seen right there.
That was a monster. Really, not kidding.
Did you ever finish that, or did you take that one home?
I'm sure if I didn't finish it, Carmen wouldn't
Carmen,
let me.
I was going to say.
Yeah, she was not going to leave anything.
And then one of the great gigs was in this lovely place called the Crowtown Gallery.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And
You know, one thing about where we've played in Maine, in almost every gig, whether it was with you guys or with the trio or whatever, it's well appreciated.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get into bashing anything, but it's different. It's just different, you know.
yeah, yeah. Actually, I have a couple little excerpts from one of the gigs was with Al on bass with Leonard.
Oh, okay.
And then these little snippets. One actually here at the Crowtown Gallery that we did with Wendy.
With Vendela.
I haven't approved that.
As long as I've got the string, I beat a simply so and so. If I should ever let it go, I've got the world on a string and I'm sitting on a rainbow. I've got the string around my finger. What a world, what a life. I'm in love. Whoa, 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 yeah.
Oh, the fun of live performance.
Man.
Remember that when we were on a stage all
There were
together?
people there and everything.
Man, I'm telling you. And I think that was the video that, you don't see it in that one, but everybody, well, not everybody, but quite a few people got up and was actually
We're
cha-chaing
dancing.
around the room
Yeah.
there.
There you go. There you go.
So much fun.
Yeah, boy, I do hope that I hope that's something that'll maybe be happening by the end of this year with any luck. We'll see.
We'll see.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I had a little interest, but who knows by the time we get there, what's going to happen.
Right. Yeah.
I know that's the way it is. Well, I'm sure that our audience definitely wants to hear you play some more, and we do know that we're here really talking about the release of your latest CD, which is Just Chillin', and someone actually sent some special words about you and your music. Let's check this out.
Let's see.
Hi, Will Lee here.
Ah,
One of the things I love about Mike Levine is his music and the fact that it's always grooving. It's groove-oriented, which is the kind of music that I like to play. So I hope you enjoy this next great project from Mike Levine.
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
man, that was awfully nice.
Yeah. Well, but not only that, he did have other strong feelings about you, and this was one right here.
A lot of people will ask me, what's up with that Mike Levine guy? Well, let me just tell you, he's very organized. He knows just what he's doing at all times.
Oh,
and
my.
I've known this man for decades, and he's always been an example of great cleanliness and hygiene and organization.
Oh my goodness.
So there you have it.
That's what the musicians say behind your back, Mike.
I mean,
Man.
if that's not Mike Levine in a nutshell.
You know, I have to say one thing, that Willie was in the same high school band I was at the same time I was. He's a little bit younger. He was playing French horn in the band.
Wow. Wow.
Now, Will was a cool guy.
Still
So-
is.
I didn't exactly, I was like 5 foot nothing and weighed like less than 100 pounds. I was a little fly on the wall. But anyhow, I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's great that you guys have actually maintained your relation.
Yes, and he's-
friendship and working relationship over here. He's always so solid.
Yeah.
Such a
yeah,
great
no,
bass player.
he's on this new CD. And I just wanted to mention real quick that I wanted to do a public thank you, because I didn't put anything on the CD, but to you, Nick, to you, Wendy, to Leonard, to Lee, to Al, to everybody. You've given me the opportunity to be able to play and to hear the music with world-class musicians, as opposed to trying to tinker around with drum machines and bass
Right.
parts and samples and all that crap. Anyhow, and you give the opportunity for the music to be played the way it needs to be played. So,
Well,
and you all know who you are. There's
Yeah.
quite a few of you. I'm not going to go through the whole list right now.
I thank you for my part, but on the flip side of that, a call from Mike Levine to play on his next project is, it's a yes before you've even finished the sentence.
That's true.
Because
Well, I'm glad
it's
you
always
mentioned
going to
that.
be great. What Will was talking about, it's great music. It feels great. It's fun to do.
I'm glad you
And you're
mentioned that,
pretty
because
nice.
I just wrote 50 new tunes, and I'm going to be sending them your way.
I'm on it, man. It's yes, absolutely yes.
He's already. You got the commitment.
That's right. I'm going to actually start practicing again because I haven't picked up my bass since COVID began. But I'll be ready.
Oh my gosh.
Look, see, there you go. Al's on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the things, it's aside from the musical part of it, which is obviously for recording is a very important part, but every one of these people that works with you, I know they feel the same way as we do. You're just one of those people that, aside from being a great musician, you're just one of the really good people in this business and amongst my friends.
Good people.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. So
I'll take care of you later, okay?
you got it. Yeah, that's a percentage, right, Rick?
Yeah.
No.
How about playing some for us?
Yeah, I don't know if there's time to do what I got
Oh, there's
left.
time to do everything.
Okay, I'm going to do...
Who's
I
got
three
any
more
place to
prepared
go?
from the CD. The next tune actually has Nick Orta on bass. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now's the time to get your drinks, folks.
Let's do this one here. It's called Simple Samba. Yes. Anyhow, that was that was Simple Samba, another original of mine, and that one featured, like I mentioned before, Nicky Orta on bass, Carlo Magno Araya on drums, and some percussion. Richard Bravo on some percussion, and of course Rene Toledo, great guitarist that used to live here, now lives in Vegas. And now we're going to hear from the hostess of the show. We're going to hear from Wendy Peterson and Leonard Rutledge. This is a tune that was on my previous CD, and it was an instrumental. And a friend of mine, Carlos Solis, wrote some beautiful lyrics, and I got Wendy and Leonard to do a duet on this. So let's have at it.
At the stars tonight, when the moon is bright, what a lovely night.
Memories of you and I, always by my side. Oh, what a night.
You gave to me a love I've been waiting for all of my life.
Never be apart, knew it from the start, truly from the heart. Gazing at the stars tonight, when the moon is bright, what a lovely night.
What a lovely sight.
Wishing on a falling star, shining where we are, oh what a night.
And in my arms tonight, I hold you tight, all our worries melt away.
Sure feels right, my love,
here tonight, my love, oh what a night. Gazing up above, you in my arms,
you in my arms,
starlight in your eyes, shining so bright. And I know this precious love you gave to me will last
forever.
Hold me tighter,
World feels brighter,
oh what a night. Gazing up above, you in my arms,
you in my arms,
starlight in your eyes, shining so bright. And I know this precious love you gave to me will last,
gonna last forever. Hold me
That was the vocal version of Stargazing. Wendy Peterson, Leonard Rutledge, Will Lee, Lee Levin, Dan Warner. And I have one more tune prepared to play from the new CD. This one I call Miami. And well, let's have at it.
Mike Levine, everyone. Mike the
Dream.
Thank you,
Mike
guys.
the Dream Levine.
Another super, super solid recording.
Thank you, Nick.
Who was on
Amazing.
that? You wanna
Oh
say?
yes, that's let's see, the Lee's all over the, of course, Lee Levin, Richard Bravo killing it, Guillermo Vidal on bass, Aaron Lebos on guitar,
Nice.
and Nestor Torres on the flute.
Very nice.
Wow. It's like you couldn't get any good musicians.
Slim
Well,
pickings.
Yeah, no, it sounds. You have a way of finding the right people for the right songs. It's great. Yeah.
It worked out. It
Yeah,
sound great.
yeah.
I mean, everybody sounds,
Well, I thank you we could not be more delighted with the evening you provided us, and thank you so much for, getting all the technical side of
Oh,
it,
of
helping
course.
out with that, and getting it all together. It sounded great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Everything
No,
everything
thank-
worked
and
out.
listen, thank you guys. You've given an opportunity for the millions of, the masses, wherever they might be, or whoever they might be, to hear the music, and you do a top-notch job.
Well, I'm super impressed, Mike, by the fact that you have been promoting the crap out of
Oh,
yourself.
this is like a whole new Mike Levine.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a little secret
Little help.
there.
Oh, there's
I'm getting
there?
some help from someone. That,
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it'd be like, maybe I post it. Nah.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. But the thing is, it's great. It's great that you're doing it. It's great that you're putting it out there. We've had a great
turnout.
a great turnout tonight watching with us, and most of that is because you've been promoting it, which is really nice. So
Well, thank
there
you.
there you go. All right, so you're gonna go to MikeLevine.com.
Oh yeah, let's
You
get
know,
that
just
up.
we're
Mike
just
Levine, Mike Levine music.
Yeah, because there's another Mike Levine or a
I
Mark,
couldn't get it.
and a Mark Levine. There's a so MikeLevineMusic.com, and all of his CDs are up there, so you can find them. And
There's some great
Yes.
video clips, some good information, and eventually, when we're ready to perform live, I'm sure there'll be a performance calendar and all that up there.
Well,
Yeah.
let's hope so. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, have a great rest of your evening, and thank you so much for enlightening us with all of your stories and pictures and videos and
Yeah,
whatnot.
thanks a bunch.
Can I breathe now?
Yes, you may.
You
have
was-
you been holding your stomach in the whole time?
Oh my God.
Mike, thank you.
No, it's
Say
great.
hello to Carmen for us,
Yes.
I will. Thanks,
Big
guys.
hugs.
and we'll hope to see you soon.
Well,
We'll be
actually,
talking.
stay on, and we'll talk after the show just to say goodnight. But
Okay.
so
Yeah.
just hang out for a little
Okay.
bit.
Cool.
All right.
Mike
I'm here.
Levine,
Mike
everyone.
Levine. It's so fun. He's such a great guy.
Wow, he's so awesome.
Yes, and I can't wait for the CD to come out, and
let's see,
and I'll have it. What do we got?
Just a couple more comments before
Sounds
we get
great.
to our.
Yeah, so good.
There you go. Tip jar's easy, folks. I think shall we just do that one more time here? Because this is your last chance to
show Mike some love.
do this. So
we text the word tip jar to the number 44321. It can't be easier. You get a little text back with a private link, a secure link to be able to tip as
Yep.
you like.
send
So
your life savings will be in business.
and all of it goes to Mike. So
That's right.
we don't keep any of it. We don't fool around. It goes all to him at the end of the night.
Yeah.
So. Want to thank our partners that help us put on this show each and every week. The Gold Coast Jazz Society at goldcoastjazz.org, and they're starting to do stuff, live. I actually, I'm just about to sign a contract and get it over to them for a concert in April that will be outside. So it's really exciting that little by little things are starting to come on board, and people are trying to do things safely. So Gold Coast Jazz Society at goldcoastjazz.org. We've got the Sunshine Jazz Organization. who's also always doing stuff and
They just did a beautiful tribute to China Vallis the other night.
Yeah, just fantastic. So you want to, their website is sunshinejazz.org. So go check them out. There's always stuff going on. Of course, the Miami Jazz Co-op at miamijazz.org. And last but not least, we have southfloridajazz.org. And they are already doing some really amazing concerts. They have a 2021 virtual concert series with really, really amazing musicians. The next one is coming up this weekend, so you don't want to miss it. It's February 20th at 8 p.m., and it's the Joe Locke Quartet. And for those of you who don't know who Joe Locke is, he's an amazing vibraphonist. A vibe player. I don't know what the correct term is, but I have seen him live, and he also has a record out with one of my favorite singers, Kenny Washington. So he's just really amazing. So he's gonna have his quartet with him, the Joe Locke Quartet, and that is this Saturday night, I believe, February 20th. So you don't want to miss that. You will find all the information for that on southfloridajazz.org, so you can get tickets, find out how that works. In March, they have an amazing pianist, Dan Tepfer. He's doing a solo piano show called Bach to the Future. Bach to the Future. And then on April 17th, they're going to close out their series with the with David Kikoski Quartet, featuring the amazing Eric Alexander. So, lots of stuff going on there, so definitely check that out. And we need to tell them what's happening next week, because next week we're going to close out Black History Month
and February,
with Melton Mustafa Jr. and Jesse Jones Jr., two of our favorites, and we're going to be talking about the Melton Mustafa Jazz Festival, what's going up and how they're doing that, and we're going to talk all things Melton Mustafa Jazz Festival, so you don't want to miss that. So please tune in. Have a fantastic week. Stay safe. Be happy, and we'll see you next time.
Good night.
Thank you.